Alright, so first I want to start by saying Kala Lal Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of James Tremble Stone. Salutation to you, I came out there preaching the truth in sincerity. Do elect, Shalom. This is Brother Canaan from James, Jamaica, and today I just want to do a real quick, simple lesson, but very important. Um, and this lesson is going to be titled or centered around prophet or false prophet 101. And there's some basic things that a prophet um, should possess, or there are some basic things that you should know about a false prophet and a difference between a false prophet and a prophet. All right, and that's what this lesson is basically going to highlight. So it's basically uh, false prophet 101 or prophets 101, whichever way you want to put it. All right, so the first precept I'm going to start with is Isaiah 8 and verse 16. All right, and reason being why I'm starting with this prophet, with this scripture, is because the first thing a prophet has to do is basically prophesy. You know what I mean? You have to speak, and the word prophesy means to say before. So you have to be speaking in future tense of what will come. And this lesson is not to highlight someone that say, okay, because I told you um, 3 weeks ago that you were going to win, um, let's say the lotto, and you won the lotto, makes you a prophet. No, it's nothing like that. This is basically to highlight prophets, true prophets sent by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to declare his words to his people. That's what I'm dealing with, alright? That's what we're dealing with right here. So I'm going to start with Isaiah 8 and verse 16. And it says, bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples. Now, two things here. Testimony and the law among my disciples. Alright? So, we're going to get further into that. Now, let's jump to verse 20 in the same chapter. So this is Isaiah 8 and verse 20. It says, to the law and to the testimony, the same law and testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. And who is the light? Yahushua himself. You know what I mean? So if Yahushua is not in you, then you're not a prophet, because you're not speaking the words that Yahushua is speaking, or the words of the Heavenly Father, because the Most High, the words that Yahushua speaks is the Most High word. Matter of fact, Yahushua is the word, as the scripture said. You know what I mean? But let's get into the testimony now. What is the testimony there? All right, and we're not gonna neglect the law part. You know what I mean? But we're gonna highlight the testimony there. Real quick. So this is Revelation 19. And we're gonna start from verse 10. Well, verse 10. Revelation 19 and verse 10. Okay. So it says here, and I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren, my disciples, that were read in Isaiah 8, right? Um, fellow servant, and yes, and of thy brethren that have the testimony that was sealed up among the disciples, right? Of Yahushai, worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahushai is a spirit of prophecy, right? So it's all about prophesying. So basic information, a prophet has to basically speak or say before, and he has to speak the word of the Heavenly Father. So that is the first thing that you're looking for. Someone that is speaking the prophecy of the scriptures. If he's not speaking the scriptures, then he's not a prophet of the Heavenly Father. Alright? And is therefore his term as a false prophet. Okay? Now, let's jump to the next precept real quick. Alright? So this is Deuteronomy 18 and verse 21 to verse 22. Alright? Alright, so it says here, we're talking about speaking, right? So, Deuteronomy 18 and verse 21 to 22. And if thou say in thine heart, how shall we know the word which the Lord had not spoken? So you're saying that in your mind. Someone is saying, yo, how you gonna know who is a false prophet and who is not a false prophet? Right? Okay. Let's continue. Verse 22 says, when a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, of Yahweh, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord had not spoken, but the prophet had spoken it presumptuously. Thou shalt not be afraid of him. So if you're saying something and it don't come to pass, then you're basically a false prophet. So you're speaking presumptuously and not what the Most High said. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Alright? Now you may say, okay then, but if a prophet is to warn um, the people, you know what I mean, of things to come, um, how are you going to know who to follow as a prophet um, if you have to wait until the thing actually happens? Alright, no problem. Then there's the next scripture will basically be highlighting what you should be looking for. Alright? And I'm gonna get into some more scriptures also to give you some ground root or some basic things to look for when you're being taught, so to speak. Alright, so let's go to Jeremiah 28 and let's start from verse 7. Alright, so this is Jeremiah 28 and verse 7. It says here, says, yes, it says, nevertheless, hear thou know this word that I speak in thine ears, and in the ears of all the people. And people is referring to Israel. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. So a prophet comes to warn against countries, kingdoms, war, evil, and pestilence. Alright? The prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord hath truly sent him. So, for most false prophets today, they like to give you a peace doctrine. Oh, God is going to work a miracle into your life. Or, oh, dear, I sent prosperity. Or, oh, good. You know what I mean? And a lot of time, this is about individual prophecies that they're basically seducing persons to make money or to basically get gain. And I mean, not saying that the Most High won't send a prophet to warn someone specifically, but for most part, the prophecies of the scriptures consist of the entire nation, what will happen to a part of that nation, to the in regards to salvation, and also the rest being put to death, and then what will be the outcome overall, and that's the prophecies, and there will be a lot of evils enter into that time period, and I mean, which you have to warn about. For some of those evils that we are warning about, what the Bible is speaking of is basically World War III. In the Revelation, you have War One, War Two, and War Three. World War One passed, World War Two passed, and now we're entering into World War Three. The next thing that we prophesy of is what? Famine, because the Bible speak of famine coming. And I mean, so people gonna die for hunger. And I mean, there are also gonna be race war. The Bible also prophesy of that. One people shall stand up against another with sword in their hand, and also for the lack of bread. These are things that the Bible speak of concerning these prophecies. And not last but not least, our next prophecy, a major prophecy, is basically what? Um, the RFID chip, the mark of the beast. The Bible speak of the mark of the beast, and when you dig into it, and the Most High reveal the secret unto you, to Yimmelech, as the scripture says, and I mean, the Most High do nothing but reveal the secret unto his servants, the prophets. Yes, when the Most High reveal to you what the mark of the beast is, you will understand that it is the RFID chip, and without this um, mark, you won't be able to buy or sell. And looking into society today, you can see that that is the way things are going on. That anyone that is not speaking in this manner is a false prophet. All right. Now, let's. Where was I? Yes. So, yes. Let's look around here. Anybody speaking about peace? Are you seeing any peace? Um, Anything getting worse? So clearly, something must be wrong with that prophet that is speaking of this peace, 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 and you're not seeing any peace. Right? But the reason why a lot of persons don't like to hear prophets is because, for most part, they are bringing bad news. All right? Which is the next thing. Prophets will not have a large crowd, so to speak. They will not be popular in the sense of in a famous way. And I mean on this side, because even the scriptures tell you, a prophet is without honor in his own town, except his own town. But for this time period, for most the prophets that are preaching today will not be honored on this side by people. We're not looking for honor by people either. So, which is leading me to the next scripture that I have to bring out, right? So, I'm gonna get there real quick, which is in um, Luke 6, and let's start from uh, verse 26. Luke 6 and verse 26. It says, "Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets." So, false prophets normally have a large following. Oh, these men are great, and oh, this he did this for me. Right, false prophets normally have a so-called fame behind them. All right, but real prophets are normally hated because the message they bring is distress, um, evil, war, and kingdoms going against each other, and no one likes to hear about that. So when you hear someone say, "Why no? There's no war, no war is coming," because they don't want to hear the prophets, right? They don't want to hear. They want smooth doctrine, as the scripture say, right? So, in regards um, to going in depth in finding what who is speaking according to the word of the Heavenly Father, let me get the next scripture real quick. Um, Let me here. This is Galatians 1 and verse 6. It says, "I marvel that you are so soon removed from him that called you into the grace of Yahushua unto another gospel." Right? And yes, the word gospel means good tidings, because the destruction of the society is good news to the ones that are aware and understanding the will of the Most High. Because this is a corrupt system that must be destroyed so that a better system can be um, set up. All right. But for those that are evil and love evil, they don't want to see the system pass. They want to continue living in the system. Let's continue. It says, "Which is not another, but there be some that trouble you and would pervert the gospel of Yahushua," telling you things that the Bible is not speaking of. Right? "But though we men," right, prophets, "are an angel from heaven, preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed." So, in other words, if you're reading something or someone is telling you something that is not according to the Bible, let that person be accursed. Alright? If someone is telling you something that is going contrary to what the Bible is saying, let that person be accursed. Right? So, what am I saying? Prove all things. Someone say something to you, go and research it and look it up for yourself. Prove it for yourself. Don't just be um, a container that gathers all liquid. You know what I mean? Get the pure knowledge, the living water, and ensure that that living water keeps flowing through you, which is the scripture. Alright? So, just a quick lesson. Don't want to make it too long. For those who are wondering, oh, you're gonna know a false prophet from a, if the Most High is working with you, you're gonna get it. All right. My sheep hear my voice and they follow me. The Most High is calling Yahweh Hashem Yahshua is calling to his elect. Once they will hear. Or once they are part of the elect, they will hear. And I mean, but these are some of the things that you can look for when trying to decipher who is telling the truth from who is not telling the truth. Alright, so that I want to say, Kalalal Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash. Again, double honors to our apostles and the of James Stone. Until I came out there, Shalom.